It wasn't in the word, the simple bite. It was in the atmosphere, the shift of sky. The way the oxygen grew thin and old. The sudden chilling story that was told by your posture, by the closing of your eyes. A planet breaking from its unknown ties, strong enough to fight the silent pulling law that existed in the space between a flaw and a fracture. Oh, the gravity of goodbye, it bends the light, it distorts the why. It holds me to this lonely crater ground where no new atmosphere can yet be found. It's a black hole in the center of my chest, where all the future and the present rest in compressed singular pain, the relentless silent tidal stream of the gravity of goodbye. I feel it in the latent weight of spoons, the anchors of the long, lonely afternoons. The way my footsteps seem to sink in concrete, the slowing of my blood, the fading beat of a heart learning a new, heavier pace. In this diminished, unforgiving space where your mass used to be, there's just a drag, a sucking void, a solitary flag waving on a dead world. Oh, the gravity of goodbye, it bends the light, it distorts the why. It holds me to this lonely crater ground where no new atmosphere can yet be found. It's a black hole in the center of my chest, where all the future and the present rest in compressed singular pain, the relentless silent tidal stream of the gravity of goodbye. Scientists say gravity is just a curve in the fabric of all that we observe. You curve my universe, you were my sun, and now your absence means the curve's undone. And I am lost in free fall in the deep, a promise that the stars no longer keep, falling forever in the empty web of the crushing infinite and silent air. Oh, the gravity of goodbye, it bends the light, it distorts the why. It holds me to this crater ground where no new love can yet be found. It's a black hole in my chest where all my joy is now at rest in compressed singular pain, the constant dreadful tidal strain of the gravity of goodbye. Of goodbye. I thought it would be thunderous, a screaming, fighting, a slam door, something monstrous. I braced myself, hurricanes and war, for shattered glass upon the floor. But you just put your cup down in the sink, and I felt the entire world just shrink. You said, I think I can, and looked away, and that was all you had to say. That was the sound of goodbye. It wasn't sirens, it wasn't rain, it was a quiet after pain, the space between a breath and a sigh. devastating look, the quietest earthquake in my life, the sound of goodbye. The clock ticked on, the fridge still hummed to the beat of a future that was numbed. You gathered up your keys and your coat, a catch in your throat, the only note of music in our final silent song. I knew right then it wouldn't be long before the memory of your voice would start to unravel in my heart. It wasn't sirens, it wasn't rain, it was the quiet after pain, the space between a breath and a sigh, the unecho of a lullaby. It was the gentle closing of a book, a final devastating look, the quietest earthquake in my life, the sound of goodbye. We built a universe of us inside, with galaxies of dreams and pride, and in the end to watch it all just cease with the deafening sound of peace. The most violent thing I've ever heard was your unspoken final word that hung there in the air between the chairs and caught me unawares. It wasn't sirens, it wasn't rain, it was the quiet after pain, the space between a breath and a sigh, the unecho of a lullaby. It was the gentle closing of a book, a final devastating look, the quietest earthquake in my life. That's the sound, the deafening sound, the sound of goodbye. I win the key upon my spine each dawn. I practice twist, the human mask is drawn. The gears engage, a satisfying click, a measured smile, a movement smooth and quick. I function perfectly for all to see, a masterpiece of low fidelity. I greet the day I work, I even laugh on a calculated, well-delineated path. But I have a clockwork heart, a beautiful apart construction made of brass and borrowed art. It ticks a perfect, steady, hollow sound, on time to time and always room. But there's no blood within its chambers beat, no wild pulse, no staggering heat, just the quiet talk of incomplete, this clockwork heart. You were the wrench, the magnet in the gear, the unpredictable, the source of fear. You made me stutter, made me lose the time, with rhythms that were messy and sublime. You're gone now, and the mechanism's clean. No more erratic, lovely, disruptive scene, just the relentless, polished, quiet grind of the organized and empty mind. 'Cause I have a clockwork heart, a beautiful apart construction made of brass and borrowed art. It takes a perfect, steady, hollow sound, time to time and always won't. But there's no blood within its chambers beat. No wild pulse, no staggering heat. Just the quiet talk of incomplete, this clockwork heart. Sometimes I miss the breakdowns, miss the mess, the catastrophic, glorious distress of feeling everything too much, too deep. Before I learned this sufficient, painful sleep. Now I am accurate, I am so precise. I pay the ultimate cold-blooded price. I am a wonder, and I am so alone in this meticulously crafted zone. I have a clock walker, a beautiful apart, construction made of brass and broken art. It takes a perfect, steady, hollow sound, on time to time and always warm. But there's no blood, there's no wild heat, just the quiet talk of my defeat. My perfect, broken, mechanical beat, my clockwork heart. Calendar flip, but my body didn't get the call. Summer's warmth never came at all. I'm stuck in the perpetual chill of that last fall, when the colors bled from the trees and from us and from all the promises. Now the sun is a liar in the sky, a pale cold coin in a vast and empty die. My bones know a season the world has left behind, a permanent November in my soul and mind. I've got November in my veins, a slow gray dripping endless rain that freezes from the inside out and fills my heart with perpetual doubt. And rust the world moves on to Christmas cheer, but I am anchored in the dying year, in the skeletal trees and the early lonely dark, a permanent frozen sorrowful mark. November in my veins. People speak of spring, a thaw of things made new, but my internal weather has a different view. The landscape of my love is barren, hard and brown, where every joyful memory is frozen and cracked down. The wind that whistles through my ribs has a specific tone, the one I used the day I found myself alone. It carved a valley where your warmth used to reside, and now the permafrost is deep and wide inside. a permanent frozen sorrow for a mark. November in my veins, they say this too shall pass. A seasonal belief, but some losses are a foundational tectonic grief that changes the climate of the soul forevermore. You were my equator, and now I'm a northern shore, battered by a cold that never knew a sun. My growing season is done. I've got November in my veins, a slow gray dripping endless pain that freezes from the inside out and fills my heart with certain doubt and rust. The world moves on to Christmas cheer, but I am anchored in the dying year, in the skeletal trees and the early lonely dark. My permanent frozen sorrowful remark. November waves in my veins. You built a palace out of maybe next year's and painted ceilings with my hopeful tears. You were a magician with a silver tongue, pulling promises from where there were none. The sword never touched me, I felt no blade, just the thrill of the performance that you made. I was the audience, gasping in the dark, believing every disappearing spark. It was all smoke and mirrors, a beautiful distortion of my fears. You made the emptiness look like a feast and sold me peace from a cap gun in the east. Every I love you was a sleight of hand, every future just a map of shifting sand. I reached for substance, but there was nothing there, just a scent of magic lingering in the air. Smoke and mirrors. The love you showed me was a clever trapdoor, a stunning vista painted on a wall, not a shore. The warmth I felt was just a focused light, a temporary artificial night, designed to make the real world disappear and keep me captive in an atmosphere of your creation, thin and prone to tear, with the slightest hint of honest air. It was all smoke and mirrors, a beautiful distortion of my fears. You made the emptiness look like a feast and sold me peace from a cap gun in the east. Every I love you was a sleight of hand, every future just a map of shifting sand. I reached for substance, but there was nothing there, just a scent of magic lingering in the air. Smoke and mirrors. The greatest trick you ever pulled was this, convincing me the fault was mine to miss. The clues, the wires, the man behind the screen. You made me the illusion cold and mean. Now the lights are up, the theater's bare There's a cold spot on the left side of the bed, a space my fingers reach for in my head. There's an extra grocery bag too light to carry, a silence where there used to be. I'm sorry. The shower only steams up half the glass, and every single morning I still pass your empty mug waiting on the shelf, a monument to bygone self. I'm living in the negative space, tracing the outline the yellow erase. I stumble through the ghost of you and me, haunting the place where you used to be. It's not the things you took when you walked out, it's the shape of your absence. I can't live without this hollow in the world just carved for me, right where you used to be. The movie references die mid-air, no one to finish them, no one to share the pun, the joke, the silly little dance. I'm left alone with this half chance. I see a shadow in the doorway at dawn, but when I turn it's always gone. Just the sunlight falling differently on where you used to be. I'm living in the negative space, tracing the outline that your love erased. I stumble through the ghost of you and me, haunting the place where you used to be. It's not the things you took when you walked out, it's the shape of your absence. I can't live without this hollow in the world just carved for me, right where you used to be. They say nature abhors a vacuum, it fills the void, but this emptiness is something I can't avoid. It has a gravity, it has a taste, it's the only thing you left that I can't replace. It's the most solid thing here. Can you see the permanent imprint of where you used to be? I'm living in the negative space, tracing the outline and erase. I stumble through the ghost of you and me, haunting the place where you used to be. It's not the things you took when you walked out, it's the shape of your absence. I can't live without this hollow in the world just carved for me, right where you used to be, right where you used to be. There's a Polaroid fading in a drawer somewhere. Our faces smeared with sunscreen and sun-bleached hair. We're squinting at a sun that felt like it would stay forever in the middle of that long forgotten July day. The lake was glass, the world was small and sweet. The burning pavement underneath our bare and dirty feet. We made a promise on the flavor of the air, a secret vow that we were more than just a pair. Oh, forgotten July, why did you have to end? You were more than a taste of cherry cola and the firefly light, the safety of your hand in mine all through the night. Now you're just a ghost of heat, a phantom of a smile, a haunting happy memory that taunts me all the while. A perfect golden snapshot lost in time's swift flow, my forgotten July. How was I to know? We wrote our names in dust upon your dashboard, dreaming dreams that felt so close, just past the yard. The radio played songs we swore were just for us, building castles in a world without disgust, of autumn or of endings or of growing cold. We were a story that would never ever get old, pressed between the pages of a year that turned too fast, a beautiful inevitable die that had been cast. Oh, forgotten July, why did you have to end? You were more than a summer, you were my best friend. The taste of cherry cola and the firefly light, the safety of your hand in mine all through the night. Now you're just a ghost of heat, a phantom of a smile, a haunting happy memory that taunts me all the while. A perfect golden snapshot lost in time's swift flow, my forgotten July. Seasons change, the seasons do. The vibrant green gave way to colder blue, and we who were so made of sun and endless sky couldn't survive the first real question of why. We weren't built for grace, for compromise, for snow. We were a season and I had to let you go. But oh, the ember of that light, the sweat, the trust, now just a layer of nostalgic dust. Oh, forgotten July, why did you have to end? You were my whole, you were my best friend. The taste of cherry cola, the firefly light, the safety of your hand gone with the night. Now you're just a ghost, a phantom of a smile, a haunting happy memory across the miles, a perfect golden light lost in time's swift flow, my forgotten July. I still miss you so. The fridge hums louder than it used to do, a steady solitary drum. It fills the space where questions hung with you. Now I face the quiet all alone. Every surface seems to amplify the absence you left in your wake. The clock's tick is a metronome for goodbyes that I didn't know we'd have to make. These empty rooms are so full of you. Every shadow whispers something that I knew. The couch still holds the shape of where we'd sit in a love that no longer fits. I wander through the gallery of gone, from the kitchen to the hall at dawn. These empty rooms echo and they sigh with the ghost of us I can't put by. I hear your laugh bounce off the bathroom tile, a phantom sound, a memory's trip. I walk for miles down the hallways out. My own existence makes me sick. The dust is settling on the life we planned, on the books we meant to read as one. It's covering the outlines of my head and yours now that the holding's done. These empty rooms are so full of you. Every shadow whispers something that I knew. The couch still holds the shape of where we sit in a love that no longer fits. I wander through the gallery of gone, from the kitchen to the hall at dawn. These empty rooms, they echo and they sigh with the ghost of us I can't put back. I could fill it with noise, with people, with light, but it wouldn't be right. It would just be a fight against the truth that this space, this very air, is a monument to the fact you were there and now you're not. And the arc exists, just screams in the silence of all my shattered dreams. These four walls witness the birth and the fall, and now they just watch me remembering it all. These empty rooms are so full of you. Every shadow screams something that I knew. The couch still holds the shape of where we'd sit in a love that no longer fits. I'm a prisoner in this gallery of gone, from the kitchen to the hall at dawn. These empty rooms, they echo my own doom. This beautiful, suffocating tune. I haunt the aisles of our grocery store. I glide through the scent of the bread by the door. I linger by the coffee that you buy, a spectral presence with a human side. I don't move objects, I don't chill the air. I just inflict a very specific care. A wistful lake, a sudden quiet grown in places that you used to call your own. I am your favorite ghost, the one you miss the most. A friendly, familiar pain you can't let go. I don't rattle chains in the attic above. I just whisper of forgiveness and love in the language only you would know. You feel me in the melody presence, a translucent host. I am your favorite ghost. I sit beside you in your car at night when the street lights paint the world in lonely light. I'm in the passenger seat, made a miss, a memory that you can't quite resist. I visit you in dreams, not as a fright, but as a calm before a lonely night. A comforting echo of a warmer sun, reminding you of all we might have done. I am your favorite ghost, the one you miss the most. A friendly, familiar pain you can't let go. I don't rattle chains in the attic above. I just whisper of forgiveness and love in the language only you would know. You feel me in the melody of a certain song, in the feeling that a moment's just wrong. A bittersweet presence, a translucent host. I am your favorite ghost. I'm not here to punish or to blame. I'm just the keeper of a silent flame that you yourself refuse to put out. So I drift in this uncertain drought between your past and present, thin and pale. A love that set its own immortal sail. You could banish me with a thought, it's true, but darling, you don't ever want to. Or in your favorite ghost, the one you miss the most. Your friendly, familiar pain you can't let go. I don't need chains in the attic above. I just whisper of forgiveness and love in the language only we would know. You feel me in our song, where you know you still belong. I'm a bittersweet confession you need the most. I'll always be your favorite ghost. Stage one, they say, is total disbelief. A frozen statue swallowed by the grief. I wore that mask for maybe half a day before the porcelain began to gray and crack. I felt the fissure start to spread. From my pain it smiled down to the dread that pooled like ink inside my hollow chest. A masterpiece of coming unpossessed. I'm practicing the art of falling apart. It's a slow unveiling of a broken heart. Not an explosion, not a sudden tear, but a gradual dissolution year by year. I'm learning how to gracefully erode, to carry this decaying heavy load with style, with a melancholy grace, a crumbling smile upon my face. The art of falling apart. I brush my hair, the strands come out in waves. I try to speak, but only from the caves where words once lived. My hands have learned to shake with every new decision they must make. Alone I dress the wounds, you'll never see the internal hemorrhaging of me. normalcy I so just gives way further lest the darkness show. I'm practicing the art of falling apart. It's a slow unveiling of a broken heart, not an explosion, not a sudden tear, but a gradual dissolution year by year. I'm learning how to gracefully erode, to carry this decaying heavy load with style, with a melancholy grace, a crumbling smile upon my face. The art of falling in the breakdown, don't you know? A tragic, tender, devastating glow, like a cathedral as it weathers in the storm. Its ruins are still magnificent and warm. So let me be a ruin, let me be a testament to what you did to me. A sculpture made of ash and memory, a public service announcement. This was love now. See, I'm mastering the art of falling apart. It's a slow motion shattering of a broken heart, not a bang but a whimper. Year by year, I'm learning how to gracefully disappear with style, with a melancholy grace, a fossil of a smile upon my face. So the art, the brutal, beautiful art of falling completely The orchestra has left, the stage is bare. Just a ghost of music hanging in the air. The stands are empty where the scars once lay. For the concert of every day, the violins have packed their weeping songs. The cellos rolled their deep and troubled lungs. The conductor that was us has dropped the baton, and the musicians, one by one, are gone. What's left is a symphony of silence, a composition built on lost defiance. The space between the notes where love once played, a resonant and hollow serenade. It's not the crash of cymbals, not the drum, it's the aching lack of sound that's overcome the hall where our harmonies used to soar. A deafening nothingness forevermore, a symphony of silence. I sit here in the velvet of the dark, where we were both the composition and the spark. I strain to hear an echo, just a phrase from my passionate and complicated days. But all I get is tinnitus of the soul, a high-pitched ring where you made my world whole. The melody is memory and it's faint, just coloring the edges of this pain that's mostly just the absence of a hue. What's left is a symphony of silence, a conversation built on lost defiance. The space between the notes where loved ones play, a resonant and hollow serenade. It's not the crash of cymbals, not the drum, it's the aching lack of sound that's overcome the hall where our harmonies used to soar. A deafening nothingness forevermore, a symphony of silence. The most powerful movement is the rest. The unplayed chord is put to the ultimate test. It holds the audience in a breathless grip. I am the audience on a lonely trip, listening to the masterpiece you left behind. The deafening quiet in my mind. The finale isn't loud, it's just the end, a single fading note I can't rescind. This is my symphony of silence, my composition of lost defiance. The space between where loved ones play, a resonant and hollow serenade. Not a crash, not a drum, just the aching lack that has overcome the hall where we used to soar. A deafening nothingness. Encore. I found a receipt in an old winter coat for a dinner for two long ago. No, in your handwriting it just says, don't be late. Now it's a relic from a different fate. Our story isn't on a shelf complete, it's scattered in the pockets of defeat. A ticket stub, a forgotten key, a necklace you returned to me. We're scattered chapters, loose leaf in the wind, a prologue with an ending that we never penned. The middle's missing, torn right from the spine, and I'm left here trying to piece together the design of a love that started strong in paragraphs so bold. Now just disconnected sentences I'm struggling to hold. We're scattered chapters fading out of view, and I can't find the page that tells me how to be without you. There's your favorite pen, there's my broken hair clip, floating in the drawers, uncertain grip. A photo, half, the other half is gone. You took the sunset, left me with the dawn. I try to read them in a logical line, to make the fractured pieces form a sign, but every artifact just seems to say we got lost along the way. We're scattered chapters, loose leaf in the wind, A prologue with an ending that we never planned. The middles are missing, torn right from the spine, and I'm left here trying to piece together the design of a love that started strong in paragraphs so bold. Now just disconnected sentences I'm struggling to hold. We're scattered chapters fading out of view, and I can't find the page that tells me how to be without you. Did we end at chapter 5 or 10? Will the climax ever come again? Or is this the final fragmented state, an unfinished trembling weight? I can't close the book, I can't walk away from the echoes of the words we didn't say. I'm a librarian of a love that's overdue, sorting through the wreckage of me and you. We're scattered chapters, loose leaf in the wind. A prologue with an ending that we never planned. The middle's missing, torn right from the spine, and I'm left here trying to piece together the lies of a love that started strong in paragraphs so bold. Now just disconnected sentences I'm struggling to hold. We're scattered chapters, stories through, and the final chapter is just me missing you. We were written in pencil, not ink. A beautiful story I made myself think would last forever in the golden haze of those endless sun-drenched summer days. You were a promise made on a porch swing, a melody my soul would sing. I folded you into my paper heart, a fragile, perfect work of art. But I didn't see the clouds begin to bloom in the corner of our perfect room. Oh, paper heart, summer rain, I should've known you'll bring the pain. All my colors start to bleed and blur, a watercolor of what we were. My careful words are running down the page, a casualty of your sudden storm's rage. Nothing left but a pulpit ruin stain. Paper heart, summer rain. You felt like a drop in the shower, stealing the scent from every flower that we had planted side by side. Now drowning in the rising tide. My love, so bright, so bold, so sheer, couldn't survive the atmosphere that changed so fast from warm to gray and washed my tongue built a castle from my love, using dreams on the banks of your ever-changing streams. I was an architect of delicate thought, but a flood is a flood and it can't be fought. Now I'm sifting through the wreckage, thin and torn, a lesson painfully learned and born, that the purest love, when it's not made to last, dissolves in the rain and becomes the past. Lost to your storm's blind rage, nothing left but this pulpy ruined state. My paper heart, your summer rain. My paper heart. Found me smooth, a sea-worn, polished stone, a story of the violence I had known. You held me up and said I caught the light, a perfect, fragile, semi-precious sight. I thought your love would be a tranquil bay, a gentle lap of blue and green each day. But you were not the shore, you were the wave, the promised peace, then everything you gave came crashing down. I'm tidal glass, a beautiful reminder this will pass, a broken thing made smoother by the pain of being pulled apart and made again. You tumbled me in your emotional riptide until the sharpest edges died inside. Now I am pretty cold and full of scars that tell the story of your howling, changing stars. I'm tidal glass, each loving word a surge against the sand, each quiet doubt the pullback from the land. You build me up in froth and silver spray, then drag me out to deeper, darker gray. I lost my shape, my color and my form in the tempest of your norm. And when the storm within you finally ceased, you left a different beast. Upon the shore, I'm tidal glass, a beautiful reminder this will pass, a broken thing made smoother by the pain of being pulled apart and made again. You tumbled me in your emotional riptide until the sharpest edges died inside. Now I am pretty cold and full of scars that tell the story of your howling, changing stars. Now don't marvel at the calm upon my brow. This peace was earning violence in the grind of losing everything I had in mind of who I was. I am a relic of the war between your ocean and my former shore. I am not a gem, I am a grave for the brave young thing the waves could not save. I'm tidal glass, cold this world the same way it did when you were here at all. It traces the edge of where we used to lean, a phantom scene in faded green. I make the coffee, just one cup, and fight the urge to wake you up. My mind repeats the old familiar lie. Then my eyes meet the ghost in the frame, and I remember why. You're just a smile caught in silver and gray, a perfect moment they couldn't take away. I talk to you, but the glass just keeps my words at bay. Oh, I'm living with a memory, begging it to stay, a prisoner to a sunset, whispering your name to the ghost in the frame. Your favorite sweater's lost its scent, but the dent in the pillow hasn't yet. Relented to the passing of the days. It holds the shape of where you lay. I hear your laughter in the rain, a sweet and piercing kind of pain. The world moves on, a blur outside the glass, but in here time is holding fast to the shadow that you cast. You're just a smile caught in silver and gray, a perfect moment they couldn't take away. I talk to you, but the glass just keeps my words at bay. Oh, I'm living with a memory, begging it to stay, a prisoner to a sunset, whispering your name to the ghost in the frame. They say let go, they say be brave, but what if this is all I get to save? Not a future, not a touch, just this, a silent, still and beautiful abyss. So let the world call me insane. I have a love I don't have to explain, frozen in a glance, given one last chance, in a silence, still and beautiful. You're just my smile caught in silver and gray, the last piece of you I couldn't give away. I pour my heart out, though the glass just keeps my words at bay. And I live with this memory until it fades away. A lifetime in a moment, bearing all the blame for loving a ghost, for holding a ghost, for keeping my ghost in the frame. This house is learning how to forget. The floorboards don't remember your step. The silence is settling into the cracks, a heavy piece that nothing lacks. I play the messages you left, just to hear the breath before the text. The digital grave of on my way and good night love, now just a fading echo of what it was, what we had, the living sound. Now it's just an echo bouncing around, an empty canyon in the shape of us. All the love now just reverberated dust down, chasing whispers down a hall that's growing long, trying to hold on to a faded song, just a fading echo, almost gone. Your shirt till it was clean, until no trace of you was left to be seen. But the memory of your voice, a distant sound, is the deepest stain I've ever found. I go to places we love just to feel the quiet now, to hear the absence scream out loud. Where our laughter used to ricochet, there's just a delayed hollow decay. What it was, what we had, the living sound. Now it's just an echo bouncing around, an empty canyon in the shape of us. All the love now just reverberated dust. I'm chasing whispers down a hall that's growing long, trying to hold on to a faded song, just a fading echo, almost gone. How does a fire become a sigh? How does a forever simply die? Not with a crash, but with a slow release into a hollow, constant, quiet peace. The last echo is a one of my own heart breaking apart in the dark. What it was, what we had, the living sound. Now it's just an echo bouncing around, an empty canyon in the shape of us. All the love just reverberated dust. I'm the last one listening to a song that's long been done. Fading echo, finally gone. You used to hum it when the world was too much, a soft vibration, a gentle crush against the nightmares and the cold, dark fears. It was the soundtrack to my tender years. With you it wasn't just a song you see, it was your breath, your soul surrounding me. A blanket made of sound, a safe cocoon beneath the light of midnight, silver moon. Now it's a fractured lullaby, a broken promise in a minor key, a sigh that catches in the throat of memory. The melody's the same, but it won't comfort me. It skips and scratches on the record of my heart. heart a beautiful thing, torn apart. The notes are sharp and cut where they should soothe, a weapon made of truth I can't disprove. This fractured lullaby. I try to sing it to myself at night, to chase the shadows with that borrowed light. But all I hear is the space between the notes, the hollow echo in my tightening throat. The tune that once spelled safety, peace, and calm now carries only remnants of the bomb. It's been corrupted by the great divide, by the empty space on the other side of this bed. Now it's a fractured lullaby, a broken promise in a minor key, a sigh that catches in the throat of a memory. The melody's the same, but it won't comfort me. It skips and scratches on the record of my heart, a beautiful thing, torn apart. The notes are sharp and cut where they should soothe, a weapon made of truth I can't disprove. This fractured lullaby. How cruel that the very thing designed to make the scared heart sing becomes a source of deepest, keenest pain. A ghostly, sweet, relentless rain that drowns me in the what was and the why. Every time I close my eyes and hear the opening bars begin to play, the prelude to the price I had to pay. Now it's a fractured lullaby, a broken promise in a minor key, a sigh that shatters in the throat of a memory. The melody's a ghost that won't let me be. It skips and scratches on the record of my heart, a beautiful thing, torn apart. The notes are sharp and cut where they should soothe, a weapon of the ruined truth. My fractured lullaby. The sun doesn't care that my world is cracked. It paints the floor in gold, and that's a fact. It highlights every particle of dust that settled on the dreams we built from trust. It's cruel, it's cheerful, ordinary light that shows me everything is not alright. The empty space where your boots used to lie is now a rectangle of too bright sky. It's just dust and daylight, the aftermath, the plain and simple sight of a love that's been dismantled piece by piece. And the morning's quiet, mocking peace. No drama in the shadows, no stormy night, just the brutal, honest, unforgiving scars I try to hide in dust and daylight. I see the coffee ring upon the wood, exactly where your careless mug once stood. A fossil of a mundane perfect hour, now holding a forgotten dying flower. The dust mold stands a waltz of emptiness in beams of pure oblivious happiness. They have no memory of your touch, your sound. They just keep drifting softly to the ground. It's just dust and daylight, the aftermath, the plain and simple sight of a love that's been dismantled piece by piece. And the morning's quiet, mocking peace. No drama in the shadows, no stormy night, just the brutal, honest, unforgiving light, revealing all the scars I try to hide in dust and daylight. The night was kinder with its velvet cloak, its shadows let me breathe, let me choke on tears unseen. But dawn is a truth teller, a relentless bride, accomplished seller of reality. It points and says, look here, this is the emptiness, this is the fear. This dust is all that's left of all the years, and I can't argue through my tears. It's just dust and daylight, to the aftermath, the plain and simple side, love that's been dismantled piece by piece. The morning's quiet, mocking peace. No more shadows to provide a place to hide, just the brutal, honest light right by my side, showing me the truth I can't deny. In dust and daylight, in dust and daylight. My pen has learned the shape of all my grief. It travels well on pathways of belief that you might someday read these traced out cries. Beneath the canopy of ink black skies, I write I'm fine until the page is full. But in the margins my resistance stalls, and there you are in every loop in you, in every smudged and tear-stained white. These are just echoes in the ink, the thoughts I bury on the brink of saying them aloud and breaking down. So I let them silently drown in a blue sea of college rule despair, a documented solitary prayer. They're not for sending, they're for keeping score of all the love I'm not allowed to feel anymore. Just echoes in the ink. Just echoes in the ink. I chronicle the weather of my soul, the earth must need pressure taking toll on this frail vessel made of want and need, and all the unsaid things that start to bleed through the cheap paper and the empty days in paragraphs of melancholy haze. I argue with your ghost and scribble rage and turn the page and turn the page and turn the page. These are just echoes in the ink, the thoughts I bury on the brink of saying them aloud and breaking down. So I let them silently drown in a blue sea of college rule despair, a document, a solitary prayer. They're not for sending, they're for keeping score of all the love I'm not allowed to feel anymore. Just echoes in the ink. One day I'll burn this book or box it tight and call it growth and call it seeing light. But for now it's the confessional, the ward where I am honest and the pain is poured into a vessel. I can close and hide a private ocean on the inside where the waves are missing. You can rise and fall with no witness and no judgment at all. These are just echoes in the ink, the thoughts I feel upon the brink of letting. You gave me your sadness like a favorite coat. Said wear this, it'll keep you afloat in the strange sea of your distant eyes. I learned to translate all your sighs. I took your melancholy as my own muse. Let your gray skies become my blues. I painted my world in the color of your ache, a fundamental, beautiful mistake. This heartbreak isn't even mine. It's borrowed, blue, a faded line from a song you were always humming low, a shade I never used to know. I'm grieving for a storm that belonged to you, in a sky that was always your view. Now the rain has stopped for you, you're dry, but I'm left here under a borrowed, crying sky. This borrowed blue, I nursed your wounds until they became my scars. Learned the grammar of your jealous stars. Your quiet rage, your passive, hollow pain became the rhythm in my veins. I built a home inside your discontent, paid rent in pieces that I gladly spent. Now you moved on to brighter, lighter hues and left me stranded in the blues you used. This heartbreak isn't even mine. It's borrowed, blue, a faded line from a song you were always humming low, a shade I never used to know. I'm grieving for a storm that belonged to you, in a sky that was always your view. Now the rain has stopped for you, you're dry, but I'm left here under a borrowed, crying sky. Ooh. This in the secondhand borrowed blue.